Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my series about restoring a pre-war model steam locomotive. This is episode 2. In the last episode, you saw me take the rust off the left-hand side motion, left-hand side driving wheels, and make a start on scraping all the corrosion off the Russian iron. So in this episode, we basically get to look at me do the right-hand side, and so there will be a lot of that. And then there's some very interesting stuff at the end. Maybe we're running on steam, maybe we aren't. I won't entirely spoil it for you. So you'll have to watch the end to see that. And I think that's all I have to say. So yeah, onwards and upwards. So what I'm doing right now is I've taken the left-hand side valve rod off and the eccentric strap, which is right here, and it is in very good condition. This is that's the valve rod after cleaning it up. The valve moves pretty nicely, no tight spots or anything. The clevis, I don't remember what this is called. I know what it's called, I just don't remember it. It has some funky iron oxide which needs to be removed, so I'll do that with a wire wheel or something. Now the left-hand side driving wheels are all cleaned, relatively speaking, and I just got the water tank off. It has actually three bolts, but one of them is missing. So I took those out and I got the side tank off, and that is what the condition of the cladding looks like underneath. It hasn't rusted all the way through, but it's pretty bad. And I'm working on scraping the rust off the running board right now. And then I think I'm gonna try and take the boiler off the frames and have a look at the downcomer and the water tubes to see if they are in good condition. I think they are. They should be fine, but yeah, so next clip will probably be a time lapse of some sort. Okay, so that is now somewhat clean. Let me just wipe this because I forgot to. It's looking a little better. This part actually doesn't matter how good or bad it looks because it's covered by the side tank anyways. I'm gonna try and get rid of this really ugly, come on focus, there we go. This really ugly rust line where the paint, this brown on here, this is the original paint. It's not actually rust, but it kind of turns into rust where it meets the side tank. So I'm gonna try and get rid of that. We'll see how that goes. I'm not hugely hopeful. The boiler bands are brass, and they have very tiny little clips holding them together on the underside. So I really don't want to mess with those because they're very delicate. I've been working on polishing the wonderful brass dome, which I think is actually painted. Actually, I know it's painted on the full size, so I may go back and paint that eventually and make it look weathered and such. Need to get some new paint for the Smokebox because I am going to paint the Smokebox black, probably a matte black. And been working on getting the boiler fittings polished. They're looking very nice. I need to do the regulator and the blower. I've done part of the blower so far. And then the pressure gauge fits right there. So that's all looking fine and dandy. And then I need to take everything off again, get a wire wheel or a chisel and scrape the paint off the back end and then polish that up, and it'll look really nice because this is a solid bronze casting, so it'll match the bronze fittings as well. So on to another time lapse probably. Right, so you just saw me, I think, take the right-hand side tank off, which is now done. And I unbolted the back head from the foot plate. And right now I am unbolting the smoke box from the smoke box saddle, which is a very, very tedious process. As you can see, the boiler is now off the frames, and it seems to be pretty good. That noise, I don't know if you can hear it, that's the superheater rattling around in the firebox because there's nothing to attach it to the other end. Otherwise, it's just like a 18-inch long copper tube which is wound around inside of here, and it's just flopping. So that isn't too alarming. It's a little crusty underneath, so I think I'll maybe use some phosphoric acid or try a wire wheel. Not really sure. The smoke box door, someone's taken all the paint off it at some point, so I need to have a look at painting that. I've been getting the back head all polished. I don't know what I'm going to do up around here because as far as I'm aware, these fittings don't come off. So that's a little interesting. Yeah, that's about all for this little clip. Right, bit of a test steaming. We've got a very leaking water gauge and clack valve, but the blower is running, so we are generating steam. Running in both directions, which is great. Our first start under power is good. I'm feeding it alcohol by using this syringe, dunking it in the burner sump, which is the best arrangement that I could get. Putting some water in the boiler. That's why our pressure is just dropped off, because put cold water in the boiler, which it's warm water actually. We'll close the regulator, blower on, and put a bit more water in. The clack valve works, but it leaks, which is not very surprising. I'll have to reseat the ball after this. Turn the blower down a bit. According to my estimates, because this pressure gauge is a bit funky, we're running at about 50 psi. Regulator open. Yeah, we haven't boiled that new water yet, so. Turn the blower up. That's blower fully on. That's half, that's off. keep it about half, 3/4.